All right, let's get more reaction now to Mthethwa's passing. Joining us in studio is International Relations Department spokesperson, Crispin Phiri. Mr. Phiri, good evening to you.
Thank you
very much for making time for us. A difficult conversation this has to be, partly because what has happened here is too far away from South Africa. So let's start with you walking us through what happened on Monday.
Well, we can't at this point provide a comprehensive commentary on the passing of the late ambassador. This is because the matter is still under investigation from the French authorities, and the family would have to be furnished with an official report that would then detail what the cause of death was. So at this point, we wouldn't be able to provide extensive details.
Yeah.
But safe to say that, as we understand it, the ambassador's wife, upon learning that the late ambassador was not yet back from a function, she then informed the police late at night that something is amiss, and that's when the search began late last night. And at about 1 o'clock South African time today, we got confirmation from the French authorities, through the ambassador's wife as well, that indeed the very sad news is true.
So it would appear that at least there is some bits of information that we are getting from you. At least I'm learning it for the very first time. So the ambassador would have attended a function on Monday night, but his wife then triggers the police to go on a search, because the understanding is that she sent a message saying that there is a worrying message from him. Are you aware of that? What do you know around those circumstances?
Yeah, it's details that we would prefer not to bring into the public domain as yet, until there's official reportage around from the officials, the authorities in particular, around the circumstances of his death. And we would really want to leave it at that, but also to urge South Africans not to speculate until we have a comprehensive report from the investigative authorities.
Any clues about when the French authorities might conclude their investigations? Because there are things that are just not making sense.
Yeah.
The ambassador leaves, as you're telling us now, leaves a function, but instead of going to his residence, he books himself to a hotel, which is understandably not too far from where he stays, and he takes the floor number 22. He is then later discovered outside the hotel, assumed to have plunged, having forced a window open. But here's also an important factor, and that is that his phone is discovered somewhere in a park.
So I think, again, those are reports. It's not the official version from the authorities. And I think once we have the official version from the authorities, we'll have the full picture of how the ambassador ended up at the hotel, what the nature of the function was, and all of that. That would be really brought to bear once an official report is in place. But in the absence of that, we would then be drawing on various versions from various individuals, which, you know, we would essentially be walking down a rabbit hole. So I would really urge us to confine ourselves until we have an official report.
Fair point.
And to the question of how long it would take, that is a good question, but we do believe that the French authorities are on top of it, and they are working around the clock to leave no stone unturned. And the first people they will inform is the ambassador's widow, and then from there, of course, the South African mission in Paris would then be able to communicate to head office, and we would be able to cascade down what is possible to cascade and share with the public.
We'll talk about the mission in a moment. The ambassadors in their various postings around the world, do they have security detail that follows them around to make sure that they're safe?
That's a very good question. And generally, no, ambassadors don't have security detail. Ours certainly don't. It's because ambassadors are regarded very highly in most countries, so they are really respected. Their cars are marked officially that this is an ambassadorial car. So it would be very strange, quite frankly, for an ambassador to have security detail.
Are you suggesting that they don't even have a driver?
They have a driver, a designated driver, but it's not like a SAPS or official. It's normally someone who his specific task is to ensure that the ambassador is driven from one place to another. So it's not like in South Africa where official minister would be driven by a South African police service. No, they have a designated driver, yes, but not a trained security individual.
In other words, they wouldn't be expected to get into a taxi or a train.
No, they wouldn't. But circumstances do differ. Ambassadors are very familiar with their environment, so from time to time they would walk to a certain meeting, or if necessary, yes, they would be in a position to take public transport. But that is rare, one would say. One wouldn't, well, that's not the norm. I can definitely say that, yeah.
The reason why I'm pressing so much detail around the security is that he was at a function. So I would assume, as a layman, that this would have been a function that is either hosted by the French authorities or something that he may have been invited to, and therefore he would have had to go there with someone.
We saw again, we're in this speculative place. When he left home, he said he was going to a function. So that's how we understand it, and so that's what we understand, how he left the house. But, you know, from there, from the house to what officially then happens, we don't have that detail until the French authorities are able to provide a comprehensive report.